Now, just set the ambiance, set the mood, and set yourself into a place where you know that you're going to feel comfortable and confident. I'm going to play some music. If you would rather just kind of take this time and, take this, 30 or so minutes that will probably be meditating just for yourself, I encourage you to do that. Whatever you need to find some inner peace tonight, I'll start playing my music now. So. One second issue before. We have some kills. All right, thumbs up if you can hear the music. Okay, good. All right. So we're first going to start just by taking a couple deep breaths, making sure that you're filling your stomach all the way full and releasing all the way. So just take a couple deep breaths at your own pace right now. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Just feel yourself start to get grounded. If you're standing, feel your feet press into the earth. If you're sitting, try to feel your sits bones, that very, very tip of your behind, just kind of sinking into the ground. If you're laying down, notice the pressure points that are making contact with the earth and just take some of that energy, breathe it in from the ground, and then out through your entire body. If a little movement feels good to you right now, just go ahead, take a little bit of movement, take whatever movement feels good. And while you're breathing right now, let this be the most intentional, the deepest, fullest breaths that you've taken all day. Sundays, I know at least for me, are busy and they're jam-packed, so it feels good to just be intentional about our breathing. Just let yourself breathe right now. Let yourself just be. Let your mind focus on the breath. It will start to wander. It will move to what you have to do after this is done. It will move to what you have to do for this week, and just let those all melt away. Come back to your breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Those things will be there at the end of this meditation, but this time right now is sacred for you. Okay. All right, now let's start doing some envisioning. I want you to envision a place that you feel safe. Oftentimes when we talk about our bodies, they're so wrought with anxiety and fear. But let's change that, and that starts with our mindset. So think about some place that makes you feel safe while taking those amazing deep breaths. Maybe this is a cozy cabin with a nice fireplace. Maybe it's a lush green forest. Maybe you're surrounded by friends and family, or maybe you're just quiet and still in your own thoughts. Whatever place feels safe for you to go to, visit that place in your mind, all while remembering your breath. And when you get lost, just come back to the breath. It will always be there for you. Okay. We put our bodies through so much every day, so now it is time to give them some love. So we're going to start just by envisioning. We're going to pull our breath from the very, very tops of the earth all the way down. When you breathe in, I want you to imagine taking space and taking energy just from the very, very top of right above your head. This is called our crown chakra. This is where we hold our crowns. This is where we hold divine energy and divine intuition. And we need a little bit more intuition these days. So when you breathe, I want you to breathe into the space right above the top of your head and breathe it out through your entire body. Feel it all the way through the tips of your toes, the tips of your fingers. Take a couple more breaths and just try to see how deep you can breathe in and how far you can spread that breath. Beautiful. All right. Now imagine that we're still taking that good breath up from the very tops of our crowns of our heads, but we're going to focus on the face now. Our faces do so much for us on a daily basis. So let's breathe some life in and some relaxation in there. Relax your eyebrows, let your jaw hang loose, and just take a nice couple big open mouth breaths. So different than we've been doing before. Our jaws hold a lot of tension, and this has been a very stressful time, especially the last couple of days. Make sure that you're not clenching down on that jaw. Just let it hang loose for a little while. If it feels good to massage that jawbone or massage your temples, you can incorporate a little bit of movement and massage in here if it feels good for you, all while taking that breath again from the top of the head and breathing it into relaxation in our faces. If you need to yawn like I did, that's perfectly fine. It helps open you up. Our faces do so much for us. They let us express our worry, our happiness, our joy, our sadness to the world. Every single piece of our face is designed for something, and they do so well at their functions. If it feels good, cradle your face in your hands. Beautiful. Give your face a nice little hug, a nice little cradle. Thank your beautiful face for everything that it does for us. Now we're going to move on to probably where I hold the most tension. We're going to focus on our neck and shoulders. So again, we're going to take that breath from the very top, breathe it in, and then breathe out. Breathe into that space of your neck, your throat, and your chest and your shoulders. If it feels good, again, feel free to find some massage and some movement. If you want to roll out a couple little knots in your neck or shoulder. If it feels good to rotate your head, feels good to go back and forth, find some movement and find some space in there. When you come back, make sure that your shoulders are down. Try to find as much space as you can between your ear and your shoulder. Make sure that you're breathing not through your chest, but breathing through your stomach so we can find those good deep breaths that we're sending throughout our body. Our shoulders, we hold so much in them, not only the weight of ourselves, but we often hold the weight of the world. We carry mountains that we're only meant to climb. So give this time and give this space to your shoulders and your neck. How we talk, how we carry ourselves, how people truly perceive us by what we say and how we hold ourselves. And they do such an amazing job for us every single day. Spend this time breathing And send some energy and some love and some light into that neck and shoulders. Always coming back to the breath, and always coming back to thanking our bodies for everything they do for us every day. All right. Now we're going to move on to our chest, and this is going to involve a little bit more movement, so just whatever feels good. First, making sure that we're taking our breath again from the tops of our heads, breathing in and breathing out. And now I want you to imagine that when you breathe out through your mouth, you're almost not breathing out of your mouth, but breathing out of where your heart is. Push that energy out. Breathe in through the nose. And send out that love and light from your heart center. I want you all to take a hand and place it on your heart, all while breathing still. Feel it pulsing, feel it beating. It's like that old Sylvia Plath quote. The old beating of my heart. I am, I am, I am. And you are all here, and you all took this time to love yourselves today. And I'm so grateful for you, and I'm so grateful for this time today. All right. Now take your hand off of your heart and thread it with your other hand, and just try to open your chest up in any way. Sometimes I like to thread my arms around the back and push out and open up your heart just a little bit. Find a little bit of stretch in there. This year has been incredibly trying already. And a lot of times when too much happens at once, we tend to close off of our heart. And that's okay. That's for our own protection. But let's try to open it up just a little bit today. Take a couple deep breaths and just think, how can I open my heart a little bit? And when it feels right, take that hand and take it back on. Again, breathing through your nose and out through your mouth. Sending that energy through your heart. Sending it out to somebody that might need it today. Sending it back to yourself. Love is a boomerang. When we send it back, it always comes back to us. All right, and then I want you to take one of your other hands, and I want you to place it right on your tummy. You should be able to feel a pulse in your tummy too. You should be able to feel your tummy moving in and out and up and down, because we're taking those good, solid, deep tummy breaths. I mentioned earlier about that Sylvia Plath quote, I am, I am, I am. And I want you to think for a couple of breaths, what am I? And who am I? What do I want to be? Maybe you want to be strong. I am strong. Maybe you want to be valued. I am valued. Whatever it is, my sweet blossoms, I want you to take a couple breaths and just think about how you want to end that sentence. What are you yearning for today? What do you need more of in your life? Because what we need lies directly within us. For the next couple of breaths, I'm going to say I am, and I want you to, under your breath, or if you're on mute, say it out loud, say it to yourself. We're going to say I am, breathe in, and then when you breathe out, say what you are at the end. So if you want to say I am strong, and let yourself do that. We're going to take a couple deep breaths. So get ready. I'm going to say I am and breathe in. And breathe out whatever you need. I am. I am. I am. And one last one. Make this the best one. Make it the one that you feel you need the most. I am. Wonderful job, everyone. I know that is very hard to do, especially when we ask for what we need or what we want. So thank you for opening up your hearts to that. All right, now you can take a hand off of your chest, but I want you to keep a hand on that tummy and take some more deep belly breaths in and out, still reaching from the very, very top, so right above our head, and pulling that energy from the universe and putting it out. Taking these nice deep breaths. And I want you to, right now, let your tummies hang loose. Women especially, we are always taught to be sucking in. We are taught to take up less space. But right now, I want you to imagine that you are undoing the corset on your tummy. Let it just be. Let your body feel the freedom and revert to what it knew before people told you how to behave. Take a couple breaths where you notice the fullness of how full your stomach can get when we fill it with air. And this is not bad. This is what our bodies are meant to do. We are filling our lungs with that life-giving breath, and we're releasing that energy, that love of ourselves and the light back into the world. So take a couple breaths, just appreciating your tummy. Give it a little rub if that feels good. That's what my body is telling me it needs right now. All right, once we feel that we have properly thanked our tummy, you can reach your arms around and give it a little bit of a hug. We are so hard on our stomachs, especially as women, constantly trying to get rid of what we think should not be there. We were created with a divine purpose, and yes, that means every part of your tummy. I read a quote once that said, maybe Jesus wants you to be a little chubby with a garage door or coffee table. And it's something that I think of every time I try to tell people about body image. We were all created for a special purpose. Every part of our body was once part of our ancestors' body who had to survive to get here and so that we could be living now. We're so harsh on our bodies, but our ancestors would not have made it if it wasn't for this beautiful divine body. So give your tummy a little squeeze, give it some love, thank it for everything that it does for us. And go ahead and put your hands on your knees, or if you're sitting down or laying down, go ahead, just put them wherever feels comfortable. On my knees is comfortable for me. And now we're going to start, and we're going to just take a couple deep breaths, and I just want to imagine you pulling in that breath, breathing in and breathing out. Send it through your hips. Send it out almost in a V formation, if you can imagine that. Our jaws and shoulders often hold a lot of tension, but what we don't think about very much is that our hips hold a lot of trauma and hold a lot of tension as well. So we're going to try to release some of that today. Take a couple more deep breaths again, breathing in from the very top and breathing out that tension in our hips. If it feels good to move around a little bit, to shake your hips out, whatever feels good, go ahead and do that. Whatever feels good for your body right now. Our hips are right at the juncture of our trunk and our legs. They're truly what allow us to go from place to place. And we are calm. Sorry that the music stopped. I didn't mean to ruin the ambiance. Just 1 second. Sorry, everybody, keep breathing. All right, sorry about that. Let's just take a couple more deep breaths to get back into this relaxation mood. Everybody makes mistakes. Breathing in through our head and breathing out through our hips. Especially if you are sitting in a cross-legged position like a lotus, a lot of times you'll feel some release from your hips. It's a lot, we store a lot of trauma and a lot of tension in our hips. So if those feelings come, welcome them in, but they're just feelings, they're not who you are. You can move past them, they give you that permission. Okay, and now, if you are in a cross-legged position, I'm going to ask that you uncross your legs, put them straight in front of you. We're going to work on our arms and our legs at the same time. So again, we're going to breathe in through our nose, grasping that breath and that energy from the top of our head. And start with just your arms. Imagine that when you breathe out, you're sending energy through every single part of your arm, and imagine you're sending it all the way through the tips of your fingers. Our arms, which we use to carry, to hold, to hug, to love, to grasp, they do so much for us. They're so beautiful because they allow us to interact with the world. They allow the world to touch us. Feel free to grab your arms and wrap them around each other, giving them a little hug. Thank you, arms, for what you do for us. And we're going to do the same thing with our legs. We're going to breathe in through our nose. When we breathe out through our mouth, we're going to imagine that breath going all the way through our bodies, past our face, past our neck, past our chest, our tummy, and our hips, and sending it down our legs. Our legs are the largest group of muscles that we have, and they have to be to keep us strong, to keep us in contact with the world. Send energy through the very, very tips of your very, very pinky toe. And feel that energy all the way, making a clear line from the very top of your head all the way through your body, through your toes and through your legs, and almost through. And now this is going to be our last big stretch. What I want you to do is take your arms up above your head, grasp the energy, grasp the air, and put your hands down as you move the energy and the breath throughout your body. Take a couple of deep breaths, where again you reach from the air forward and you breathe it out throughout your body. Let this be the biggest breaths that you take today. Let this be the most intentional. We have spent some wonderful time with our bodies today. And once you feel that you have breathed as much as you can breathe, you breathe the deepest breaths that you can, come back to whatever position feels comfortable. If legs out in front of you are good. If you want to lie down, if you want to stand up, if you want to cross, just whatever feels good. And take a couple of deep breaths again. But these don't have to be the deepest breaths. Just make sure you are connecting into some part of your body. Send it wherever it needs it. And breathe. Your bodies are so beautiful. And I hope that this meditation helped you to really connect with your body. So often we don't want to connect with our body, we're trying to change it, but there's something so beautiful in letting yourself just be, and letting yourself be exactly as you are, which is beautiful. I have a quote that I want to share with you all, and I hope that this helps you in your practice. Finding yourself is not really how it works. You aren't a $10 bill in last winter's coat pocket. You were also not lost. Your true self is right there, buried under cultural conditioning, other people's opinions, and inaccurate conclusions you drew as a kid that became your beliefs about who you are. Finding yourself is actually returning to yourself, an unlearning, an excavation, and remembering who you were before the world got its hands on you. We are all so beautiful in our own ways, and it's really society that tells us that we're not, society that tells us the ways that we need to change ourselves. But we don't. And that's so freeing to know, and that's so freeing to practice. Thank you all so much for being here with me today. Thank you for taking these 30 odd minutes to connect with yourself and to thank your body. I hope through the rest of your week and through the rest of your time on earth, when you feel stressed or when you feel not ready to change the way that you are, you just come back to that breath. Come back. You are always there. Your real self is always there. You might need to dust it off every now and then and excavate it under what people think of you. But know that you can always come back to this breath, come back to pulling in that divine intuition and sending that out through your body. Thank you again so much for joining me today. I wish you all a safe and happy new year. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Madison. That was wonderful. Even the dog is a little more relaxed, which I definitely needed that to happen. I just want to take a second to thank you and honor you. You do such amazing work with your social impact initiative and work that's really so important and reminding us that we are enough in the way we were created. So thank you so much. Of course, you guys, this is the last session of the Self Kare Summit, and I really think this was the perfect way to end it. If you have any final questions, or if you want to come see if you win any raffle prizes, you can head to our closing session at 7 p.m. The link should be available to you, and if you don't have it, just let me know. But other than that, thank you so much, Madison, and thank you all for being a part of this weekend. This was a great way to close it out.
Thank you all so much.